Hey guys, so in this video, we're gonna do a dividend stock deep dive. These are for people who want to buy stocks and hold on to it and just make money off the dividends. And the main context and the main goal of this video is to show you how you can also maximize your stocks that have dividends. That sometimes you don't just have to buy them anytime you want, that there's an efficient way for you to be able to make money off of it. And in the same way, it's to show you also that maybe you could combine technical and fundamental and dividend analysis on how you could buy, you could select, and you could time your stocks, because knowing all of them is something that can give you the conviction to be able to trade the markets properly. So for those who want to know more about dividends, what's dividend investing, dividend yield, what are the top dividend stocks, I play so many videos about that in my channel. I'm going to put the link in the description below for those who want to know more about it. But for this video, I just want to focus on a couple of stocks, then give you what their yields will be for this time if you start buying it. And then if you add a layer of technical analysis, you add a layer of timing, and you add a layer of not buying it exactly at today, but trying to be more strategic, how much it could affect your possible earnings as well. So for this video, I just want to focus on PLDT, which up until now has one of the highest dividend yields. Globe, A-REIT, which we've talked about massively over the past few months. SPC, which has been one of the highest companies that has given out dividends. Then also Meralco, which is stable. And please do note this, no, PLDT and Globe, their earnings are sort of predictable still, because under the new normal, earnings of companies that are connected to broadband and mobile will do very, very well. And then SPC and Meralco are basically utilities, or basically connected to power, which is quite stable in my opinion. That they will have revenue, because as you all know, everything that we do uses a lot of energy and power. And lastly, A-REIT. And for those who watched my videos on A-REIT, you do know that their, how do I say this, their rents, the quality of their rent and the tenure of people who have rents with them are at least more than 5 years, around that average. And then they have around 99% occupancy. So it gives you stability that this year, since may nagre-rent, since madami nagre-rent, since matagal sila magre-rent, revenue is expected for this year. Then you can also expect almost the same revenue for next year and the years to come. Plus, their ability also to raise rent. So please do note, for those who have been following the videos, A-REIT, when you study them, they're not exposed to POGOs. They're really posted in the BPO industry, and which is less, I think, less risky, or they're not as they pose a lesser amount of risk as compared to Pogos, which we have seen have had their fair share uh, of exodus. We've seen a lot of, I don't know why I'm speaking like this today, but we've seen a lot of Pogos leave the country, hence affecting rentals, especially for those buildings connected to it, which AREIT does not have any. So if you guys are ready, comment I'm ready, comment I'm excited, and let's go. So this is PLDT. Stock price today is 1,350. So the dividends that they gave last year was 77 pesos. And I'm just making this assumption. This is an assumption that they would give the same amount of dividends this year. Then if it's more, then you actually have a shot to earn possibly more as well. So dividend yield for PLDT is 5.7%, assuming that you bought it today, and assuming that you get, they still give 77 pesos. If they give more, then I think the yields will be even higher. Globe, same thing, 2040. The dividends from last year was 107.99 pesos. It gives you a dividend yield of 5.29%. So please do note, these two alone, I think, will beat a lot of the other fixed income investments. However, the advantage for both Globe and PLDT, it gives you upside. It gives you the potential of capital appreciation. Then for A-REIT, this is what I'm doing, since the dividends that they gave out last year, at least were just for 3 quarters. And I just want to make an assumption that if you have a full year worth of them giving quarterly dividends, this is what they would give. So I'm giving a assumption for 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. And please do note, since they're my own assumptions, it could be lower still than that. It could be higher. Please do not peg it just because I made it in this scenario, you can make your own simulations at home. What if piso lang bigay nila 1.1, 1.2? Is the dividend yield attractive? Or mas mataas, what if 2 piso bigay nila? What will be my dividend yield? So you can start working your way above that, around that scenario. So for today, it was 33.1. If they gave out 1.3 dividends for 2021, your yield would be 3.92. But if they would give it at 1.4, they would give dividends at 1.4 pesos per share, then your yield becomes 4.23. Then if it would be 1.5, your yield is 4.53. Then if the yield is 1.6, if the dividend is 1.6 pesos per share, then your yield is 4.83%. Then if it's at 1.7 pesos, then that makes your yield at 5.14%. So you can notice it also, no, that it's highly sensitive also to the amount of dividends that they give. However, hindi naman natin control yung amount na pwede nilang ibigay, control natin yung amount na pwede yung presyo kung saan tayo bibili. And I think that's more important from our end. The dividends naman, you could do your own research, do your own due diligence. If the company's income is predictable, the company's income is not hit as much, the company is still doing well. But in terms of what they can give, that's something we do not control. Eh. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can somehow, no, based on your ability to deploy capital. Yun yung focus nyo dapat. Anyways, Meralco, 289.20 pesos per share. Dividends is at 15 pesos, 0.092. That was from 2020. It gives you a dividend yield of 5.22. So, very, very attractive still. I really believe it's very, very attractive. And for dividends, kasi 10% lang yung taxes eh. It's higher, it's much, much better than time deposits. It's much, much better than bonds. Then you have SPC at a stock price of 10.3, a dividend 2020 dividend of 0.8, your yield is 7.76. Please do remember that if you're doing this, dividends, SPC, dividend yield, the dividends that SPC gave in 2019 was higher. So for 2020, this was slashed a bit already. So if they continue to slash it, make a scenario that sulit pa ba siya sa inyo. If they maintain it at 0.8, sulit pa ba siya sa inyo? Or if they give something higher, sulit pa ba siya sa inyo? Comment below if you're learning. Comment if this is something that's helping you. Next is I want to look at this. What if instead of buying today, you start combining it, that you use support and resistance, you use the skills that we have for support and resistance, and you buy as close as you can to the support, so that normally if you buy it as close as you can to the support and not higher, not at the resistance, then there's a possibility for you to actually have a higher yield. So let's look at PLDT, the support for PLDT, at least the closest support. No, please do know that there will be other lower supports. If you want me to plot what the other lower supports are, comment below, and I'm going to make another video for you guys to double down on that and to talk about that as well. But this is where I plotted it, which is from the breakout of the June resistance and the confirmation from the July bounce, the September bounce, and the November bounce as well. So if you can wait a bit to let it hit and go back to the 1272 level, your yields would increase to 6.05%. Now it becomes a bit more attractive. So please do note that if you buy it around the current price today, the yield is still high. But if you segment it and look at it and time it near the support, your yield would be even higher. Next, for Globe, the support is 1956. This is where I plotted it. The base of that is from the breakout of April, the bounce of June, the bounce of July, the bounce and consolidation of September, the bounce of October, November, and January. So to make it short, we've seen Globe hit that support so many times because currently Globe also is in a very, very long and a very, very massive consolidation. So 1956 support level. So if you do that also, yield at around that price given a 107.99 dividends would give you 5.52%. So comparing no yield wise, PLDT, if you buy it as a support, would give you a higher yield than Globe. Anyways, A-REIT support is at 32, but if you look at it here, no, I plotted it for those who want to for those who are a bit more patient. The reason why I'm placing other support levels here because A-REIT has gone up massively from the breakout now from 25. So from 25, it has gone up already around 30+%. So that's the beauty of REITs. You don't just get dividends, but you also get the ability to earn via capital appreciation. Now, that being said, A-REIT is currently breaking out, but I placed here 32. But if you're more patient, you can look at the 50-day moving average, which is showing you a support at the 30 peso level. Anyways, at 32 pesos, assuming a 1.3 dividend, your yield would be 4.06%. Assuming they give you 1.4, it's 4.24. Assuming if they give you 1.5, it's 4.69. Assuming they give you 1.6, it's 5%. And assuming that they give you 1.7, it's 5.31% already. So you can make your own computation that if you buy it at 30, what your yield will be. But uh, if you buy it at 32, at least your yield as of this point in time would still be above 4%, which beats a lot of the other fixed income assets. Plus, the ability, as what you can see, as what you've seen also, A-REIT has been pushing higher. There's been very, very good capital appreciation. Next is Meralco. Support is at 280 pesos per share. This is how it looks like. I plotted it from the breakout of the September. I plotted it from the breakout of September 2020 and the bounce of October 2020, November 2020, and then it going back up this January 2020. There's another support level at the 250 mark. If kung nasalo nyo sana doon, that or 250, 260 level, kung nasalo nyo doon, then your yields would be much, much higher. That being said, at 280, given that they would give 15.092, your yield would be at 5.39%, which is respectable as well. Lastly, SPC support is at 9.63. So as you can see right now, no, medyo malayo siya. Wala naman siya sa resistance at 10.9. Pero if you can time it properly and you can pick it up at 9.63, even better. If you do that, your yield would be around 8.31%. Tama ba yung complete ko? Parang yun yung binigay ko rin before, no? Let me check, napaisip tuloy ako kung tama. Kung hindi ko na tama, 7.76 if you buy that at the 10 peso mark. So you have a higher yield, you have a higher rate of return still if you time it at the support because it will give you around 8.31%. So if they go back to 1 peso, which they did in the past, then your yields would be higher. For those who were able to buy it, no, the price of SPC was half of that. Congratulations to all of you as well. And that's the beauty of dividend investing, that you get paid for holding it, but if you hold on to it long enough, your yields would be massively higher as well because if the company is good, the stock price would be increasing. So that's what I'm saying, that you can use dividends and technical analysis to help you earn more. It's a misconception that technicals is just for trading. Technicals is not just for trading. Technicals is for timing. Technicals is for you deploying capital into stocks that you know are good, that instead of buying them at the resistance, instead of buying them when they're falling, instead of buying them not properly placed, you can use technical analysis to properly spot those opportunities when they are relatively cheaper. So there, for our Patreon subscribers and our Patreon community, the link is www.patreon.com/Marvin Germo. I've uploaded the whole slide deck, and that's what I'm gonna do. No, I guess for the next set of videos that I'm doing, anytime that I have some slides that I'm sharing. I'm gonna upload it all for our Patreon community for those that want to be part of it and support the work that I do for the videos that I do as well. So that's there. And then, as what I've mentioned, I reply to every DM that's sent via Patreon because it's a very, very small community naman. So nare-replyan ko lahat ng mga tao doon. And lastly, if you guys have been joining me just for the first time, that I talked about PLDT Globe, SPC, Meralco, and A-REIT here. But no matter how much I talk about it, guys, please, very, very important, do not buy, sell, or hold on to a stock just because I talked about it here in YouTube. Never ever buy a stock because you hear it off the internet. Never ever buy a stock or sell a stock or hold a stock or avoid a stock just because you hear a friend talk about it. It's your money. It's your responsibility. You have to take the time. You need to have the due diligence. You need to study it very, very well and never ever buy it just because you hear it from someone else. You have to study. You have to pull the trigger on your own based on your own conviction. So there, if you guys have any questions, put it in the comment section below. DM me on Instagram or DM me via our Patreon community. And lastly, also, those who want to learn more about technical analysis, everything that I talked about here, showing you support and resistance, candlesticks, etc., and analyzing the trend, we're gonna have a Zoom course which is happening At the end of the month, it's 2 weekends, 4 days, half day of Saturday, half day of Sunday, and then another week after that, Saturday, Sunday, where we're gonna talk about candlesticks, trend lines, moving averages, support and resistance, breakouts, breakdowns, Bollinger Bands, parabolic stars, um, Fibonacci retracements, and so much more. So if you guys want to join us, it's one of the first times that I'm gonna do a Zoom course also. So I'm doing this also for those who send messages that they actually want to join and want to enroll and be part of our Zoom class as well. So links are in the description below. And I've been getting a lot of questions about cryptocurrencies. For those who want to invest in cryptocurrencies, I have a link below for Binance that allows you to buy a lot of those other altcoins as well. And for those who are from the US, for those who are from other countries that uh, want to invest in US markets and cryptocurrencies as well, we have a link below, Webull, that allows you to be able to invest in those in US stocks. So that's it for now. Marvin Gurmo, I hope you guys got a lot from this, and I hope that this gave you insight and information. Expect more videos coming out tonight. We're gonna have stocks by request as usual. So that's it for now. If you stayed up until the end, comment I'll go, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go. And I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.